Salutations, Grand Rising, Happy Eid, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Christmas, Halloween, all that stuff.
Why you tap me when you say Halloween?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to say, give me a hand. Which other, what's the word you're looking for?
Diwali. I think Diwali was
Festivity that we have around the corner in the next three plus months. Just,
Diwali, Christmas. You said Halloween. Halloween, Samhain,
Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa.
That's what I was looking for. That's one, Kwanzaa, yeah. I was going to say Bar Mitzvah. No, my bad.
Bar Mitzvah.
Someone out there.
Yeah, someone's having a Bar Mitzvah somewhere.
Exactly, see? Yeah, it's been a minute, but we've been busy. Just cruising episode 19. Kevlar Kess. Dr. Love.
David Love.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. PSA, public service announcement. You better get your seatbelt on. You better. Alright, cool. Episode 19. We would like to talk about
gratitude and complaining, which we kind of went into a little bit towards the end of the last one. And I think they're two sides of the same coin, so
gratitude.
Yes.
Why gratitude, please?
Well, for many reasons. For one, I've been, I'd say, practicing gratitude consciously as a daily discipline for a long time, and I've seen a lot of benefits that come from that in terms of just your mood, your well-being, your mental health, all that good stuff. And of late, I've been doing more of a deep dive with it. I've been looking at ways to increase the gratitude that I express, and different ways of doing it. I've started reading more about it. And for me, complaining is the flip side of that, right? With gratitude, you're expressing your appreciation. With complaining, you're expressing your discontent. And I think, especially as I've been focusing on not complaining the past few weeks, I've seen how much complaining there is in the world, how much people complain, and the effects of it. It really brings your energy down, it brings your mood down. It's really strange. It's like a disease almost, and it just spreads. Like, have you ever been in a situation where one person complains and then it just goes into that frequency of complaining, and then everyone jumps in? Oh well, yeah, but da 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 da, and it just kind of, oh, it doesn't even go like that. It goes that way. So yeah, I thought it'd be an interesting topic to jump into, because I don't think the average person realizes how ungrateful they are and how much they complain. And now that I'm practicing not complaining, it's made me realize my unconscious patterns in those areas, and it's a topic I'm really fascinated by, so I'd like to discuss.
That's dope. I tend to people watch a lot. And the thing I've come to realize in the past day and age, this new century, is that a lot of people who are not going through a lot, I know I'm saying it, but who are not going through a lot are the ones who I see constantly complaining. Now, it's not the apples and pears comparison, but it's a thing where it's a lot of people who are not actually going through a lot of chaos and drama complain a lot.
They actually complain the most.
Yes. And then there's the ones who have, the ones who have the weight of the world on their shoulders. The ones who have the weight of the world on their shoulders, they just keep quiet and keep doing lunges. They just keep quiet, just keep doing squats. They don't say a word. They just keep doing. They get on with it. I've seen it. I see it every damn day. Every damn day I see it. It's as much as I'd like to. I cannot help everyone. I need to fill up my own cup first before I can start to pour into your cup. Which is as simple as that. It's like, no, I see what's happening, but I've got me to worry about. And that's a reality that people don't seem to talk about much. The thing about the complaining is that also, so you meet someone that for the last 20 years has been complaining non-stop. Did you realize that you cannot change that? The person who has spent their whole life constantly complaining cannot go cold turkey and just flip and just stop complaining. If your pattern all your life has been this way, the past 20 years, do not expect that to change in 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to happen. Because it's like the yo-yo diet thing. When you go on a diet, it's called yo-yo because it goes up and down. When you decide to just stop eating that thing that you like so much out of the blue, and then expect your body to change in a month, you're going to go back to it again. You're going to go back to what you did before. Complaining is a big thing. People don't get to realize it's a mental problem. It's a mental thing because of the fact that you now identify as that person. That is now your identity as the one who complains about the weather, complains about the food, complains about the tap water, complains about men, complains about women, complains about just the air you breathe, complains about the king size bed you're sleeping on, complains about the fact that you have all the clothing in the world, he complains about the fact that things are cheap and you can afford everything, complains about even when you can't afford it, you can buy it on credit. You've got it good, but you're complaining because you have nothing else to do with your life but complain. You have no identity but to be someone who complains. And that's what we see today. We see that a lot. Those who are really grinding, they see complaint as a privilege. You are privileged to complain about something that you already have. What do I know, right?
You know a lot. I find, see, complaining it reminds me of this concept of secondary gain I learned when I was studying hypnotherapy, where they were saying that someone may have a condition, but there's some kind of payoff within it. A lot of times there's a secondary gain they get from it. So in the immediate present, that person complaining isn't actually making themselves feel better. Actually, they're just feeling they're wallowing in that misery. But the secondary gains can include things such as, I don't have to take responsibility for this situation, I'm the victim. It can mean they're getting attention from other people. It can mean they're getting sympathy. So for example, I've seen someone who's for example coming to work, started talking about their health, how they got this bad throat and all this was happening and da-da-da. And they're telling me this for like, a few minutes. And then someone else walks into the room and they turn to them and then regurgitate the exact same. You ever seen this before?
Identity. That's your identity.
Regurgitate the exact same story, and then they get some sympathy from this person. And so it's a way of getting energy, but it's not the healthiest way of getting energy, man.
Like that. You're feeding on it.
Yeah,
the
it's
attention.
It's parasitical almost, like this.
It's also contagious.
Yes.
Because you're constantly complaining about something that can be taken care of. Whether it's easy or not, it can still be taken care of. And I know, I once in a while I find myself complaining. I do. Once in a while, I complain about humanity as a species.
Yeah, it's. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that as well, because one of the things I've been thinking is there's definitely a space for it. So, for example, let's say something happens, because complaining is essentially expressing discontent, right?
Discontent.
I'm not content. Yeah, no, I like that, right? It's nice and neat. I can't remember which book I got that from, but
Okay.
I will credit them in due course. But it's the expression of discontent, and so I think there is a place for that. Let's say, for example, you have an issue with someone, and you actually want to resolve that, and you, on some level, you need to express to them, actually, I'm not happy with what you did. That is complaining, but to me, I think that's healthy, because now you're doing it with a view to a solution, as opposed to just complaining for the sake of it, just whatever. But then it's such a fine line, I've realized, with complaining, because you could just be observing something that's actually happening. Right, so I'm curious to know, what's your thoughts on where you draw the line between complaining and just actually observing, like, that's fucked up, like stating fact. I think for me, I would say it's almost the emotional content of it. It's like if the energy of it is like, then it's complaining. But if I'm saying, oh well, actually, I'm observing something which I think is not cool, or something is messed up.
So the difference between observation and
almost like, because I think there's a critical analysis thing which is almost objective in a way, like it's not an emotive thing. But give me your thoughts. I'm curious to hear your perspective.
I say more like emotional analysis, non-critical, emotional, non-emotional, critical. So I could criticize a situation without emotion to it, just with the logic of it.
Yeah.
Is that complaining?
This is the thing. I don't put that in that bracket, because when I say complaining, also, not only have I been really committed to not complaining, but also not complaining, not gossiping, and not criticizing. And when I say criticizing, again, I think constructive criticism.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? I think there's a difference between constructive and destructive. If I'm just tearing someone down or talking negatively about something, I don't think that's productive use of my time and intention, and I don't think I'm being impeccable with my word in that instance.
Right. So we're talking about okay, I'm gonna use issues in terms of small and big issues. Right. Talking about, say, small issues, which is in the individual, right? An individual or a couple of individuals, people. When I complain, I observe and I complain. So I'll give an example.
Yeah, give me an example.
I see humanity as a virus.
So what you're saying is you're Agent Smith?
No, bacteria. Which is, if you take blood samples, cell samples, and you look in microscopic view, and the person who has like a disease or illness or virus, you see the virus, you see how it just move around, and how it just destroys the environment it's in. And then if you go out of Earth and you look out, if you look on a, say, just a high view on a micro lens, you sort of see the human race, where you see buildings and cities like warts.
You're right though, because it's just spreading and destroying.
There you go. It's so just imagine the Earth itself is a body, and as this wart has just expanded, and it's expanding and growing and growing and growing. Why am I saying it is a disease? It's a disease because the main objective of disease is to destroy the body, the main body itself. It's not symbiotic. If it were symbiotic, then it would not be called a disease. Symbiosis happens in every species on the planet, except with humans. Many animals work in symbiotic relationships, except humanity. Humans just tend to want to destroy the body that they live in.
And destroy each other too.
Because we are combative by nature.
Back to combative.
Bacteria. You see how so that's...
It sounds a lot like Agent Smith, man. But
I observe and complain. It's logic. The Agent Smith is actual logic. Artificial intelligence is actually logic without emotion. That's what scares humanity, is that AI can sit down and give the logic as to why humans are bacteria. It's so simple, and anyone who actually tends to remove themselves from the box will see it clearly. But because we see things on a micro level, we just generally don't look at the macro. And I get it, because once one starts to look at the macro level, there's a thing called existential crisis. Isn't there?
There really is.
Exactly. Where you go, what is the meaning of life? What's the purpose? Why are we here? It complicates the whole situation. This is why we have the blessing / programming to complain on a small level. So even though it's not a good thing, it's actually meant to be.
Yeah, elaborate a little.
There needs to be a bad for a good to exist. There needs to be a yin for yang to be recognized. There needs to be small complaints for big complaints to not be seen. Because if we all didn't complain or worked in unison, we would actually work in unison to destroy the planet even more. Because it's our core programming. It's our genetic programming to destroy.
That's deep, bro.
This is what I look at when I...
Fucking deep. It's our core programming. Our genetic programming
we are
to destroy.
Genetically programmed to destroy. We have greed. We are the only species that actually kills for the fun of it. Other species kill to eat, to live. We are the only species that eats past our necessity.
And we engage in cruelty and
for the fun of it. Other species don't. They engage in violence to protect their...
Yeah, or because they need to eat, or it's out of necessity.
Nothing more. So if lionesses are attacking a herd, they pick enough for that meal for that week and leave the rest to just do their thing. They don't go, oh, you know what, those guys might plan to attack us in 6 months' time. Let's kill them all right now. They don't do that.
This is a fascinating conversation. So, are you suggesting, because I don't like to make assumptions then, that humans are inherently evil?
I'm not suggesting, I'm saying humans are inherently evil. I am saying that.
Wow.
Humans are inherently evil.
That's quite a statement.
And are inherently good.
Okay, and inherently good.
Yes.
Because
it's not balanced.
The reason I asked that question is because it's not balanced, and you think it's tipped more towards evil than...
It's not balanced. It's more evil than good. Here's how. Simple, basic. I can complain about, had a shit day, and then I meet one nice person in the day that brightens up my whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Good. But I met 100 assholes today. Sorry, 100 people. Of 100 people, there were 99 a-holes in that crowd, and one good person that brightened my day. Now, as an AI, what you see is 1% good. Mathematically, which means what? 99% bad.
But it's usually the other way around. It's usually you meet some cool people and then there's one...
I beg to differ.
Dickhead.
It's not wrong. It's that the evil has corrupted humanity. If that makes sense. There are many good souls out there. There are many good apples out there, but then there's one bad apple that has corrupted other apples and has taught other apples to complain instead of be thankful. So it's just been spreading and spreading. So it's the disease of humanity that just slowly spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads. How? By complaining. The more we complain, the more we feed on that negative energy within us. We have both. We have positive and negative. But when complaints happen, we don't even know we're doing it. We're feeding that zombie virus in us. And contaminating everyone else around us, and they are doing the same thing as well and spreading that contagion. We don't even realize it, and it's happened so much no one sees it. It's why when I don't complain. I don't like complaining. I can't stand people complaining. It's why when someone starts complaining, I either just keep quiet,
I was gonna ask you,
or I just go. So I do. I keep quiet, and because in my head I go, okay, you're complaining because you want to be heard. Now listen. Now, naturally, generally, when you have a problem, I have a solution for you. It's there. But then I go, okay, it's not a case of
you want
a solution. It's a case of you just want to complain, and you just want to be listened to.
You can feel the energy of it.
Boom. So I just listen. I listen, because if I start to go back and forth in the complaints, I've now taken in the complaints, I start complaining too. So it's kind of my guard up, my shield is up, so I don't complain. I don't start complaining.
So you listen.
I listen.
You don't join in that conversation.
No, I just listen.
It's a complaining conversation. And next thing you know, you'd be complaining to 100%.
Complain about their complain.
And you can't complain about them complaining either, because that's complaining too.
We're complaining too, because once the convo starts to go back and forth, we're now both complaining. I'm complaining that you're complaining about me, about you, about complaints. It confuses everything else. So I let it ride. Okay.
You hold the space for them, let them speak.
Boom. Hold my ground.
And that's it.
That's it. Stand firm. But when it's over, I'm like, okay, cool. And what happens now is those who complain, once they're done, they got what they wanted, your attention. They get your attention, and they feel a bit better because it's been let out. And then you don't solve the issues. You don't do that, because they already have the answer for their problems.
Because that energy is a heavy, lower vibration when people are in that, and depending on the person, it can be very heavy, right? Do you ever, in the space of you holding the space for them and just listening, does that energy ever pull you down?
No.
Or do you consciously disconnect on a certain level, or how do you?
I consciously brace for impact. It's like,
I think there needs to be an awareness like that.
There is.
Like, shields up.
There you go. You need to train yourself in that way. You train by knowing what it is. It's a magician's trick. If you don't know the trick, it will work on you. If you know the trick,
and
it won't work on you.
It will extract energy from you.
There you go. On a fighter's level, I'll say it's like bracing for impact. You know you're gonna get punched. Brace for impact. That's how I give it to you. You're gonna get punched. Brace for impact.
Wow. Wow.
So it's not bad. It's just.
It's what it is.
Sometimes people look up to you, so they need your ears. No, you're not your solution. And for that, you finish it with asking questions. Don't tell them what to do. No, ask questions. About what they were talking about.
I like that, because when people are complaining, in most cases they're taking on a victim consciousness and they're kind of eschewing responsibility. But with the questions, you give the responsibility back to them.
Yes.
I love that.
With you providing an answer or solution, you're not helping. You think you are in the moment. You're not.
Oh, I wish I had this conversation decades ago. Do you know how much time I've wasted?
We all did. And it's an eagerness. Oh, we need to get to the bottom of this if it takes all night.
Good, man, but
just ask questions. So what do you think about this? Why that? It's fine, because everyone's satisfied now. We've helped the situation. By asking questions. Because if you're asking questions, that means you're actually engaged. You're not. You're in the moment.
And you're showing that you've listened as well.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in an environment where there was a lot of complaining,
Mm.
a lot of complaining, a lot of gossiping, a lot of backbiting,
Mm.
and so I was used to, and this is from like a young kid, like 4 or 5 years old. It would be this person talking about this person. So I was always in the sort of middle of this.
And the gossip mix.
And it got to a certain point when I got older where I just said, hey, I'm not doing this. Like, if you guys can talk to each other, I'll be over here doing me. But
That's
there are
good.
still times with certain people where they just unload, and it's just like you said, I don't even enter into those spaces or environments if I'm not in a certain energy. Like, I've realized for one thing, shields are low some days.
Some days shields are low. Some days,
and those are not the days.
Some days don't feel like sparring. Absolutely.
Those are the days you can't step into that arena because it's almost like
recognize that.
It's almost like they sense it on some level, and that's when they really.
But then you had the power to go. Not today.
Yeah. Well, this is it now. Like nope. Today I need to recharge. I'm not in the space for that. And like you said,
I'm not in the mood for that.
You have to brace for impact, like you said. You have to kind of, and it's an interesting space to hold because you're not being completely cold, but you're also not just being like, oh man, yeah, that's awful.
Oh, you're texting, yeah. Oh yeah, Rick James, bitch, yeah.
That bastard! I can't believe they did that. Do you know what I mean? Like throwing gasoline on the fire and that. No. Like, it's not that. It's not that. It's a delicate balance, I think.
Also, here's even the flip side of it. I find this quite interesting. Some people are so used to arguing in their conversations or in their complaints that they're not used to you. They've never met you before. So when they're talking, complaining, arguing towards you, and you're just listening, it's weird for them to go, why aren't you arguing back? Why aren't you complaining back? No, because I'm listening to you. I'm present. I'm there. I'm listening.
Mirror.
You want to talk? I'm listening to you. No, I'm mirror. I'm listening. If I'm mirroring, I'm throwing it back to you. No. I'm actually listening to what you're saying. And then when you let people talk who have never talked before, when they start talking, they start talking stupid. And then comes the, does that make sense? You just said this, but you said that. Does that make sense? What do you mean by that? You're good as gold. It's always been there. It's just, I don't teach you new things. I remind you of what you've always known. C'est la vie, mate. C'est la vie.
I think one of the things I need to develop, because of the PTSD I have from listening to so much of that stuff from a young age, is there is a part of me that when I hear that, it can be triggering sometimes.
Absolutely.
And to hold the space without like judgment or, do you know what I mean?
Criticizing.
Yeah, without any anger, without being like, oh, don't listen to this. To actually genuinely.
If you don't want to listen to it, then don't. And then make it known that not today. Tomorrow maybe. Today no. I do that a lot. I say that a lot recently.
Not today.
So yeah, no, not today. Tomorrow maybe, but not today. Just like, no, not today. Tomorrow maybe, but not today. If I'm grappling, I'm wrestling submissions, and someone tries to get me in a submission, I'm like, no, not today. Tomorrow maybe, but not today. No. Trying to knock me out. Whoops. Nope. Not today. Tomorrow maybe, not today. It's very important. It's important to learn to listen. Active listen. And it's also important to know when your battery is low that you don't listen to anything. Because when your batteries are low and you are being forced to listen to complaints, you're gonna get drained even worse.
Oh.
You're gonna have those days where you sleep 8 hours but you don't feel slept. Those days, battery's dying, mate. That's what that feels like. It's not good.
Been there.
It's not a good feeling.
It's really not.
We've all been there. We've all been there. It's kind of why someone like me. Well, actually, no, I lie. It's why most men like their personal space, because their personal space is a recharge space.
Mm-hmm.
It's the heavy is the crown. I need to come out here, represent, protect, provide, and all that stuff for you, and then every once in a while I need to go to my fortress of solitude to recharge.
Jeez, it's a fortress of solitude. Sounds a lot better than man cave.
Nah, bro, it's a fortress. It's not a cave, bro. I'm not a caveman. It's a fortress of solitude. And Luke's Lane will be like, why can't you let me into your place? It's your fortress. Why is it just you and these robots in your PS5? Yeah.
I had a day like that yesterday. It was so good. I thought I'd be doing something with my lady. I completely forgot she'd made plans. And then I was like, oh, okay, day to myself. And then I went out and it was so good. It was just like, I could just feel that, just that sigh of just ease. Like I don't have to consider anyone else's anything.
Let me
about me.
Let me point on that. You realize that your you time is a lot better because you are thankful.
100%.
Your you time is a lot better because you are not complaining. So you are appreciating you. When you appreciate you, you appreciate your day, your minutes, your hours, your moments are appreciated. So a good day feels better. A great day feels greater.
Right now, I honestly, I feel like I'm in a parallel universe almost. Like I was walking to see you, and I'm just like the sun. I'm just like, oh, it's such a gorgeous day. I was just appreciating the simplest things, like the time thankful. I have. So thankful, and I think what I realize is gratitude for me at its apex. It reminds me of that expression. If the only tool you have is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail.
Yes.
Right? I think with gratitude, if the only tool you have is gratitude, everything starts to look like a gift.
Yes.
Because you can find the thing to be grateful in everything, even the worst stuff, even like the worst stuff. Oftentimes that's got the most lessons, the most growth.
The worst things teach you the biggest lessons.
100%. So it's like you're always winning essentially.
Like
once you have that filter. Yeah, you have to look. It's like a pair of glasses, you know, like your gratitude glasses. And then, like once you put them on, everything looks different. Damn, that's the metaphor.
When it happens and you repeat it,
jeez.
It's speechless, man.
I'm in a dream right now. Honestly, I'm just like the flow, and also you're training your mind to work in a certain way. So then those same outcomes are more likely to keep happening, because now every day I'm waking up, I'm giving thanks for just being alive, just being healthy, having a roof over my head, all these little things. And then just all through the day you just start to notice all the little gifts, all the blessings, the perfect timing of this happening, even the way you segued from complaining into gratitude. I saw what you did there. It was smooth.
You're welcome.
Because I was already thinking in my head, okay, this is awesome. However, I do realize we've been on the complaint thing.
Bro, I got you. That's what I do.
And you just start to notice that you are blessed, infinitely blessed.
Infinitely blessed.
But do you see it? Are you paying attention?
No. People don't see it because they've got it good. And this is the weird.
It's the irony, isn't it?
Of it all. Yeah, it's the weird way the universe the universe punishes people. It's not punishing you, it's just teaching you lessons, telling you be grateful. That's it. Just be grateful. Remember to be grateful. Just say thank you. Close your eyes out. Thank you. Thank you want to thank. Just be thankful. It's what it is. When you are constantly unappreciative, I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger.
One of the books I'm reading at the moment is called A Simple Act of Gratitude by John Kralik, Kralik. And so he was in a really rough spot in his life. Like his career was a mess. His relationship was pretty much come to an end. He was not in good shape. He was very depressed. Even had suicidal thoughts in his head. He had a lot of issues with his business, money-wise, family. Just his whole life was just a mess. And he went for a walk at one point, and he said he heard a voice say, "Until you are grateful for the things you have, you will not get the things you want." And you like that? And then he said that led to him thinking about how he could express more gratitude, and he remembered how his grandfather would send him a thank you note, and he came up with the idea of writing 365 thank you notes, and he started doing it, and it was just fascinating watching how things started to change in his life, because just like we were saying now, as you start expressing gratitude, you start realizing the things you have to be grateful for. And he realized how ungrateful he was. He went back and was like, oh, what about this person that helped me with that, and what about this job I had where I had this mentor, and what about this, and all these people I didn't thank. And then it's really powerful, because I've sent a few thank you notes myself. And what's interesting is, in the process of you putting that pen to paper and saying thank you, there's a lot of intentionality behind that. You got the mental focus, you got the physical act of you doing it. It connects you to the gratitude that you feel and that person in a different way. Like, you start literally thinking about them and connecting with, like, oh, that thing maybe that you're thankful for. It's very, very powerful.
That's true, Just wait 1 second. See that over there? That's a gym. So it's a CrossFit gym. I had the opportunity to buy this place
Nice
about
location.
6 years ago.
Okay.
But 6 years ago, 7 years ago. But someone outbid me, and now I'm like, no.
Locations right now.
Yep, great location, great spot. Yeah, you're right, though. Apologies, I had to point that one out to you. One of my regrets. I'm thankful I didn't get that place. Because if I got that place, I would not have met the people I have today. I would not have met the people that are there today. We would have been seeing each other a lot less. Because that would be a different area.
Yeah, sure.
Different world. But now I use the word try, to let other people know that being thankful is key. It's key. When you're always giving thanks, there's a radiance about you, there's a calm about you, there's a balance about you. Believe it or not, your mental state affects your hormones as much as your hormones affect your mental state.
Preach.
People don't get this. Your mental state affects your hormones as much as your hormones affect your mental state. So where you are on a mental level gives you homeostasis. So your food is important, your exercise is important, but your level of mental health is key. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough.
Yes.
Mental fitness is key.
Yes.
Mental fitness starts from gratitude.
Yes.
Dude, how much more can I reiterate or emphasize this? Mental fitness starts with gratitude.
100%.
Just be grateful. Be
So
grateful.
simple.
Be thankful. Say thank you to those around you, to yourself. Just thank you. To your shoes, to your food,
It's real.
to your clothes.
It's real.
Everything. Your car, your bicycle, your Oyster card, your bus pass. Thank you. Just be thankful. The small things. It shows. You radiate, you glow. Everyone sees it in you. When you have the constant complaining mindset, it shows in you.
You can see it.
There's the doom and gloom in you.
You
There's
can
that.
see it. The eyes.
There's that dark raining cloud around your head. Your eyes are drooped.
Posture.
Shoulders droop. Postures drooped.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like zombie. Radiate. Be thankful. You're gonna see yourself posturing up, chest out, standing straight, walking straight, looking someone in the eye. Boom. You're good. Which basically means that no matter how bad things may get, they only get bad because you think they're bad. You know, most human problems are individual, which is that thing you're going through to you is a big deal.
Yeah.
The person next to you is like,
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Just call this person and sort it out. That's all it is. And that's what we go through, the small things. So we're here complaining about this, that, no. And then you tell someone else and they go,
Is that
that we're complaining about.
That's
Here you
true.
go, sort it out. And then you go, oh no, my problems are not so big. Because you want them to be big so that you would look significant. But then you find that your issues are so small, they're so insignificant, you now feel insignificant. Because it's like, oh, that's it. That's what the issue is. What do we know, right?
Oh man. So this is a subject I'm fascinated by and I'm passionate about, man. Like the what you said about how it affects your health, your energy is so real. Like when you wake up first thing, if you just start with just thank you. Just repeat thank you. Try that first thing when you wake up. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And watch how your mind set shifts, how your energy shifts, how you start to feel differently, how you start to look at stuff differently. You coming in with optimism, and it leads to faith, because as you're expressing that gratitude and you're focusing on the positives, that becomes a recurring thing, and then you start expecting those good things to happen, because that's the mode you're in. And then you walk, like you say, you walk differently. You have a different, like today, I'm literally excited for the good things that are coming today. Instead of, oh man, I hope this doesn't go badly or this doesn't go wrong. I'm literally excited. Like there's a conspiracy for things to go well for me.
Conspiracy.
and it's a different mindset than I once had. Where I'd wake up and be like, oh, I hate mornings. I only had 4 hours sleep because I was up so late, and I'll go to this job and I don't really like it, and I'll deal with these people.
And it makes the job worse.
It makes it worse, and then you know what happens? What kills it is you're complaining. You're gonna get confirmation of that, right? Then what? You're gonna complain more. Oh, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna have a bad day today.
Isn't that weird? Because the fact that you complain about it, you basically put it out there.
Yeah, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
But we can flip that around.
Yes.
And that's what I see you do, and that's what I do now as well. Instead of going, oh God, this is gonna go wrong. Things never go.
No.
Like I was working with this guy the other day, and he came upstairs and he brought the wrong thing, and he said, "Oh, typical me in it. I would do something like that." So it's like he's expecting himself to screw up.
He's
like
accepted that
that's the
reality
norm. He's accepting that identity. That's his reality. Whereas, for example, with you, I've clocked you speak your stuff into existence. You're not telling me stuff certain times. Like for me, even it's like I can tell. It's like you're putting this into the universe. Like I'm creating this. This is going to happen.
I created like the past tense.
Yes.
It's like this has happened.
That leads to me to another question. Actually,
That's all right. So I don't do. I'm creating this. I say I have already made this.
It's already done.
I've already done it. It's just, it's running. It's just for me to catch up with it. That's what it is. It's already happened. So
it's done.
It's already happened. I'm just trying to catch up, and then I go boom. So when I do for the first time, it looks like I've done it 1,000 times. So yeah, because I've done it in my head 1,000 times. It's just for the physical to catch up with it. Boom. That's what it is. So I use my overthinking on a positive side.
You overthink.
Absolutely.
What you want.
Oh, I overthink for good. People will say, "Oh, I'm an overthinker." Yes, because you don't use it properly. You have powers.
It's
but you don't know how to use it.
But it's learning to control that attention, though. It's the thing.
There you go.
And what I didn't expect to get from this decision to not complain is the level of control it's given me over my attention.
Yes.
Because if I'm not going to complain, I need to be aware of what I'm saying.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yes.
And then what starts to happen is you're not only aware of what you're saying, you start becoming aware of what you're thinking.
Yes.
And so you're not complaining out loud, so then you stop complaining as much in your head. I was saying to you on the way to the car, an experience I had in the past week, which was profound, was I was falling asleep, and in my sleep I had this sort of mini dream where I complained, and I woke up out of my sleep.
Check yourself.
Because in the dream, hey sucker, we don't do that here anymore.
You know.
Hey fool, you're complaining. You better wake up and apologize. So I was like, I woke up out of my sleep because my subconscious is now like, no, we don't do that. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, I complained in my dream. It's not actually a verbal complaint.
Yep, check yourself.
Shit was hilarious.
It's good.
But it's good because it shows me that my subconscious mind is really starting to latch onto that concept.
Exactly, self-policing.
And so, yeah, going back to what I was saying about the quality of attention. Now, because it's almost like a mental gymnastics or mental gym. Like because of that training on a daily basis of being aware.
Yes.
Now I find I'm just getting more control over my mind, and I'm getting more aware of where my attention is, and it's easier for me to focus, like you're saying, in terms of overthinking on the things I want and on the things I want to create.
I like that. It's very good. It's very good. It's necessary. When people complain about their flaws, it's not a flaw. You just don't know how to use it properly. So it is. Oh, I do this, I do that. Yeah.
It's just expressed in the wrong.
You just take that same thing and put it there.
Jeez, that's powerful.
All. Don't try and that thing you're doing, put it there and say it works.
So true.
And then they go, oh wow, that. When someone's trying to overthink, I'm like, you have time to overthink. Here you go. I got 5 jobs for you. Use your overthinking, man, and do this.
Yeah.
Boom, go. Legit. If you can overthink, good. That means you have the ability to
focus
see this for me because I'm busy. So here you go, extra brain.
Overthink about this.
Yes, that's it. Overthink your ass over there. Go. It's awesome. Because if you're sitting on there overthinking and not writing down stuff, you're overthinking on things that are not productive. I want you to overthink on things that are productive. Go. Boom. You see progress. That's all it is. Most people today just lack direction. This is why I like to talk about the human race. We all mean well. We're all gifted differently. We just didn't get the right teachers to push us in that direction and say, no. You want to be going in that direction. So that's all it is. That's literally. So people go, oh, I've got this issue, this problem, this. Okay, let's put that in this environment. But that comes when one stops complaining and starts being thankful. When you start being thankful, you start actually seeing the better in everything, because you've seen the better in yourself, in everything, the better in everyone.
Well, you just demonstrated it just then. If we take overthinking, someone says, "Oh, I'm neurotic, I'm an overthinker," and they just see it as a negative. If we're coming from the space of gratitude, like you said, you're now able to see the potential positive in that. It reminds me of, again, when I was studying hypnotherapy, there's certain abilities that we have which are just in a certain direction. So let's say, for example, let's take your overthinking thing. I just want to build on that a little bit. Let's say the overthinker is someone who has internal dialogue which is not serving them, right? So their overthinking might be like, "Oh, this is never going to work. Oh, this is not going to work. Oh, this is da-da-da-da." And then they picture the thing not working.
Yes.
Now they're practicing like sub-vocalization, like internal dialogue. They're also visualizing an end result, which is like another like, hypnotic phenomenon. It's like pseudo-orientation in time. So you've got the ability to see the future, right? Maybe they are having some physical association or whatever happening in their body, so they've got the ability to have that sub-vocalization, see the thing in the future, feel the physical sensations that go along with it going wrong or whatever. And like you said, that same ability can be trained in the opposite direction. So now that sub-vocalization could be positive sub-vocalization. That vision could be the vision of what you actually want to happen. And that ability to associate into it, to feel it, or maybe you're picturing it a certain way, that could be used positively. So it's just abilities, like you said, which haven't got direction.
Yeah, just being used wrong. I like the whole hero thing. You're basically using your powers as a villain. You can be the hero or the villain. You decide. You have the ability to actually. You have the ability to pick an alternate future, like a multiverse situation. Are you going to turn left or turn right? You decide. The power of the multiverse is choice. You chose left instead of going right, or right instead of going left. That's your choice.
Love that, bro.
Which also comes down with the complaining thing, right? Which people they give up their responsibility and their accountability. But once you start to understand that you are responsible for your destiny, you have accountability for your actions. You start to think before you talk. You start to think before you act. You start to go, hold on. If I do this, I am my own responsibility. It's the same reason why, like I said earlier, people say things but don't even think about it. But you are a pattern of your speeches.
Yes.
You are your thoughts. Therefore, you are a pattern of what you say.
Yes.
To me, to yourself.
Yes. To others.
So to others, when people say they can't, I immediately flip my nut. I just flip and say, "What you mean? You called me a C? Are you mad, bro? You called me a C word? I'm knocking you out,
And when they say you can't,
no, they can't.
They use the term I can't. Okay.
Yeah, when they say, they can't, blah 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 blah, and I go, 4-letter word. You mad, bro? Who you talking to? Say that again. Oh, I said, yes, you can. You don't say you cannot do something. How dare you let your words hinder you? That's you. You said that yourself. Beautiful. We don't use those words around us.
Beautiful.
Give yourself power. Speak power to yourself. Be grateful and thankful and speak power. When you start saying, I cannot, I won't, I might try, dude. Come on, you're stronger than that.
Casting spells out here constantly. Did you ever hear of, I believe her name was Jennifer Bricker, gymnast, has no legs. She was born with some sort of condition where she basically has no legs. I think she's got like 2 little stumps. But her mum and dad taught her from when she was young that can't is not in your vocabulary.
Absolutely.
It's not a word you use in this house. And she competed as a gymnast. And she does all kinds of she does this acrobatic thing on like these ropes and has basically had this incredible life. And a lot of it was down to what you just said. It's being impeccable with your word, right? We're going back to being impeccable with your word.
Yes.
And one of the things I've definitely learned, and these podcasts has been a big part of it, going back and watching them, listening to myself speak. I saw so many things where I'd say, I think that, like, instead of expressing it as though this is how it is, it was almost like I don't want to sound too cocky or overconfident or arrogant, so let me put it in a way where sort of like, and it's gonna come across. And I was watching it, I was thinking, why are you speaking like this? I started to notice the unconscious things that were in my speech, and it obviously everything doesn't change overnight, but I'm definitely, because I noticed you speak like this is testament. This is how it is. But I realized that that definiteness is, you're commanding yourself with that. You're commanding your brain. You're as Miyamoto Musashi said, you're training to be one way, like your whole life. Like you're training to think in a certain way and act, so that the thought, the action, all of it is all congruent.
Yes, you're not a part-time warrior.
And if it's congruent, then that's going to come across in how you express it. It's not going to be like, well, I think this, but at the same time, You're prepared to commit to say, no, this is my word.
I tell people I'm arrogant and cocky. I'm diet Kanye West.
I get it,
I'm
though.
Basically Kanye West without the sugar. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm cocky, I'm arrogant. Okay, I am, and I embrace it. Yes, I'm cocky and arrogant. Get used to it. I've worked hard to be here, and I'm gonna embrace it with chest. I don't play that. You're not gonna come and diminish my actions. So don't do that. Be cocky, be arrogant, be brave, and be brazen. Be bold with what you have. Be the best you possible, and no one else can take that from you. Complainants, crying people, nah.
Complainants. That's what I'm gonna call them now. Complainants.
It's true.
Oh man.
Nah.
Yeah, you're like speaking truth to power when you state it definitively.
With intent.
With intent.
That's how you got to be, though. One has to go, okay, no, this is what it is. This is how it is. This is where we stand. And that's the beauty of it, is a lot of people are not going to like it. They can kiss my sexy black ass. Do I care? I don't care. What do you want to do? Please. Oh, no. Oh, Kes, how dare you say that? I dare. I'll say it again.
I dare.
I'll say it again. Legit. So, one of my quotes for 2022 is, and I'll do it again.
Yeah, I've noticed you saying that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I did it, and I'll do it again. Please.
It wasn't an accident.
No, it wasn't. I did it with chest. Unapologetic. I think the only time I apologize is when I'm teaching like an MMA class, like a grappling class, and I take one of the students and I do a technique with them, and then I go sorry, and I pick them up again. That's just what I do, like, because when I teach, I don't intend to give anyone pain, because I want to see them tomorrow. I want you to learn as much as you can on Monday, and then come on Tuesday and do it again, and Wednesday again, Thursday again, so we get stronger and better. So there's a possibility that I might have hurt them in a technique or move. I go, oh, sorry, back up again, and continue again. It's just so one doesn't feel uncomfortable with me slamming them or going for an armbar or a triangle hold.
That's good, man. I've seen some very egotistical martial arts teachers who are really...
It makes sense to me.
Getting off on that whole...
Yeah, they feel the need to prove that they are the baddest in the room.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
Well, if you're the baddest in the room, you don't need to prove you're the baddest in the room.
Oh, yeah. If you have to announce you're the king, you're not the king. Brother.
I swear these podcasts are getting better and better.
It's inevitable.
Let me say, before we bounce, I just want to challenge you listening to ask yourself what you can be thankful for. His face, yeah. I'm gonna challenge these motherfuckers.
I've got that
Challenge these
Kermit the Frog
motherfuckers.
look like.
What are you thankful for? What can you be thankful for right now? What can you express thanks for? Yeah, and how can you bring more gratitude into your world? And as far as complaining goes, how is that helping you? Like, how is it how is it serving you? You know, maybe challenge yourself to go 24 hours without complaining. I think that's a really good challenge to start with. Just one day, no complaining. See how easy or difficult that is. I'm up to just under 3 days now. I did 70 hours this week. Before I said something under my breath, I was just like, I caught myself. I was like,
You're doing your sober October.
Oh man. Yeah, and what I do is I change this ring each time. Yeah, a book I read called Complaint Free. I can't remember the author off the top of my head. I wanted to credit them. Complaint Free. But yeah, maybe I'll send it to you to put in the notes or whatever. But yeah. Anything you want to add?
What are you grateful for? What are you thankful for?
Oh, everything, man. Above all, just this experience of life. Just this this journey, this odyssey, this quest, this experience. It's just amazing. How about you? What are you grateful for?
Every day. I'm just thankful for having white hair.
For having
white hair.
Interesting.
For being a silver fox.
Yeah, I'm kind of approaching my zaddy phase.
I had always wanted to have white hair and abs.
Wow.
That makes sense.
It does look mad though. Like there's one model, I can't remember what his name is. I saw, and he's just like cut with silver hair, and it looks different.
So I say that because I've always wanted to be older. I've always
Really?
Yeah, dude. I've always looked forward to my 40s.
That's so interesting.
I'd always known.
Never heard anyone say that.
Because they're not me, and that's the difference. They're not me. I'd always known that my experience from birth to 40 would be experience, and then the adventure begins in the 40s. Always known that. Always known that. And so all I had to just do was just go and get my CV, get my experience points, my XP, and boom. And it's been a crazy. It's great. It's great. I'm thankful for health. Thankful for those around me. Thankful for the word that people have used to define me lately has been perseverant. I persevere. And I go, ooh, that's a nice word. I don't quit. I don't give up. I keep pushing. I persevere. I don't know, because I do it based on the mindset of 1% better every day. So it's not looked upon as, oh, I've got to do that. No, go, dude. Whatever we do it again tomorrow, but better. So to the eyes of everyone else, it's perseverance, but to me, it's just Monday. So we just go. That doesn't matter. We get up. We don't stop. We keep going. We go. So I'm thankful for my mindset of perseverance, despite the odds. I'm thankful that I have been blessed with that kind of GSD, get shit done mindset. That's me.
I'm thankful for so many things. I'm so abundantly blessed, man. From the people in my world, these conversations, I'm very thankful for. So many lessons and gems, man. It's funny, sometimes things from like 3 podcasts back, or like a line will just pop into my head, and I'm like, yes. The people are combative one. Jeez, just seeing how that unravels. So, yeah, I'm thankful for learning, for getting better, for that curiosity I have to learn, that that willingness to learn. Because I can see that I have a side which is humble enough to learn, and yet there is a kind of an arrogant side there as well, where it's like, I know I'm a bad mother lover. That side's grown, by the way.
You need to be arrogant.
Yeah, I see the value in it, but as long as it's tempered by some self-awareness, I think, and it's anchored in something, it's not just some delusional foolishness.
I said, diet Kanye West.
The thing with him is he does say some shit that makes a lot of sense sometimes.
Dude, listen.
Like, no, he'll drop some stuff sometimes,
Right.
and you're like, okay, people can say he's an idiot, but that's true.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Kanye West is a rainbow. It's a rainbow. Today you're gonna get blue. Tomorrow you get yellow. Wednesday you get green. You don't even know what's coming.
He is consistently inconsistent. I think that's part of the reason that people find him just so fascinating.
Dude, he's entertainment. Say what's next. Just what's next.
True then.
Just what's next. You don't want to put him on a live TV show. Oh, you're gonna lose ratings at the same time, gain ratings. You go, how does that even happen? Like, I get more ratings, but no one's watching. What? How? Easy.
Yeah, he's different.
Yes, bro. It's just something else. So whenever someone says, "Oh, have you heard what Kanye just did now?" I say, "No, I don't care. Whatever it is gonna be spectrum stupid, supremely intelligent, or supremely stupid. It's like wherever it is, there's a supreme there.
Oh, man.
Either or, whatever it is, and I love it. I love it because it's entertainment. It's beautiful. You have to watch it. Say, clever, ingenious. But yeah, it has been episode 19. It has been emotional. Stay blessed and highly favored.
Thankful and thriving.
Ooh. Jacked! Ha! Got it!